Just first of all, very excited to be back down here. Awesome place, love the crowd. Sounds like we're sold out again. Just love their passion for Indiana University and the football team, the basketball team, and all that we're doing. So that really fires me up to be back here. And then also just really heavy heart for Coach Mallory and his family. It's his birthday today. I know special thoughts with Ellie, having to deal with everything that's going on, and then to have his birthday today, it just makes it sometimes more difficult, for sure. But just so much love and respect for him, everything that he means to our program. When you go back and really study everything that he did and what he inherited when he got here, and the way he turned it around is really unbelievable. And the way he handled things at the end was pretty unusual for the way a lot of people respond to things like that. So I just think my respect for him has only grown over time, and love his boys and what they're all about. Especially, I know Doug and Kurt really well, and got to know Mike, and just met their oldest daughter, Barbara, and just really heavy hearts. We're going to have our whole team. We're going to be at the service on Saturday at 1:30 in the stadium to honor him and be able to. I want them to hear from all his former players and coaches, and just understand who he truly was, because he's a special one for sure, and will always be very, very important to our program, and that will never change. So just really want to make sure everyone understands how we feel about Coach Mallory. Questions?
How much of a resource was he to you in your first year?
I tell you, he was great, because from the very beginning, he's really the first one I sat down with. We went and had lunch together, and he just kind of went through everything, and how to, just the culture of Indiana and the things that he felt like were important that we were able to do and establish in both recruiting, dealing with media, talking about his coaching staff, just talked about the conference, a lot of things, and then he came to practice every single week. He would text me. Matter of fact, I just looked back, I just got a text from him not that long ago, after an article was written in the paper that was real positive about the direction we're going. He just kind of once again just, hey man, you guys you're doing everything the right way. We believe in you. Just keep doing what you're doing, And so, but that's just kind of how he was, and he cared about this program, and he loved it for sure. So yeah, he gave me a tremendous resource for sure.
Tom, do you expect all the freshmen to arrive in the summer?
I do, and there's always a guy or two that has some work to do, and we have that situation again. So, but most of them are here today, and that was exciting to get their families here and allow them to kind of all be together as a group. We got a few that will be coming in on July 13th, but the majority were here today, and so really excited about. It's a good-looking group, a lot of good-looking athletes and quality young men. So really excited about getting them on campus.
It was a great class that you brought in, but how much more exciting for you was it when they actually got on to campus?
Well, that was it, because I talked to the parents today, and like, hey, this is it now. We're finally here, and everybody was pretty pumped, and just getting them all together. And a lot of times they came at different times for visits, so they haven't necessarily always been at the same room together. And so, but it's been neat to be able to go through the process of really getting to know them very, very well. And then now that they're officially on campus and they're moving into their dorms today, and so I'm sure there's a lot of nerves, but they're pretty fired up about being here.
Like Jay Sean Harris a couple years ago was one of those guys who went through senior day but then decided to come back.
Yeah.
You got anybody in that boat this year?
Yeah, Jay Sean's one of those, and sometimes he's you never really know how to handle that sometimes, because you go through and they're not necessarily sure what the future holds, and obviously with his health he wasn't sure for some things. And then Damian Willis is one of those individuals that has gone through that process and was kind of beat up, and now has had some time to heal, and so he's going to be back with us.
He will be back.
Okay. And I think that's huge. He's was probably our most experienced linebacker coming back, but we just had some good heart-to-hearts, and really excited about getting him back with us, and we'll be joining us for our workouts here in June, and he's anxious to get back at it. So his body's is healed up, and I think he's going to be a big part of our future.
You got 3 grad transfers join the team. How important will they be? How much do you expect to play?
I think each one of them are going to be very important. You know, anytime you add a guy that's played as much as these guys have played, all 3 of them were guys that were starters. You know, and that's where they're very unique in that regard. And I think that they all 3 fit a need for sure on our team in each area, and I think that those guys will come in, and you know, it is always a little bit some unknowns. You know, they're coming into a new program and learning a new system, but they all played a lot of football, and so I expect all 3 of them to come in right away and help us be a better football team.
You continue to see quantitative data regarding the improvement in speed and conditioning?
We do, and that's something that the way we track it, and I say we, you know, Coach Ballou and Dr. Ray really do all the work, and they just submit it to me on a weekly basis and give me updates. But the way we collect the data and the way they go about it, it gives our guys such immediate feedback that it really provides tremendous motivation. We even saw that the group of guys, you know, May is a discretionary month, so we don't require them to be here, but because of all the gains that they experienced over the last few months, most of our team wanted to be here for that period, and so they've been able to even grow more during the month of May, which is sometimes a month where you kind of don't get as much work in, but we've been able to see some growth in that area, and I just feel like our guys will, once they get back on Monday with the whole group here and working with our strength staff, that these next 2 months are going to be huge for sure.
Well, the quarterback room being as successful, potentially as successful as it looks like it can be. The line coming back, the running back core obviously being very stoked, and a receiving core. Are you feeling any pressure from the offensive side of having to produce next year?
Well, I mean, that's the expectation. I mean, that's what you want, you know, and I know our guys, and I meet with our offensive staff, and we go through and we've done an extensive evaluation of the things that we got to get better at from last year, and yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, I've shared my, you know, expectations with them, and they feel it too, but you want that to be the case. You want to have, even like last year, we kind of had that on the defensive side of the football with so many guys returning, and they played to a high level, you know, and that's what you need to do. So I expect our offense to rise up, and as young as we're going to be on defense, you know, they're going to need to provide that leadership off the field, the production on the field early in the season as we bring our young guys along on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, I think that you know, a lot of reason to be optimistic offensively, and I expect us to be able to rise to those expectations and make it happen.
Once the Excellence Academy is completed, how big of a piece will that be for what you're trying to do, not only with strength and conditioning, but for the program as a whole?
Well, there's a piece to that that's so huge, and that is the nutrition side of it. You know, and we've hired a new nutritionalist and for that position, and just getting Isaac on board at this particular time and being able to have that facility done. And then there's so much more to it than just that, but that is a part that we feel like was just a big need for us. And I mean, in the area of football and the training and how demanding we are of them physically, if you're not recovering and getting the proper nutrients back in your body, you know, those workouts aren't as powerful as they should be in terms of improvement. So that's a big part of it. Just the way that it looks and feels, you know, is awesome. You know, I see it every day in my office, and I go there, and just the progress and the way it's going to bowl the whole stadium in and the field it's going to have, you know, and then the Excellence Academy in general as a whole structure there from a physical perspective, from the career perspective, and just all the things that we were trying to do as a program to really help our young men be successful after they leave IU. So I just think that it's the timing is great for us right now, and then we get a chance to finish that and then go start on the locker room, which is another big piece of developing our program and just growing as a program to be able to allow it to be something that the kids look to and want to be able to be a part of, and it's what everybody else is doing, similar things, you know, so you just got to be able to keep that edge about you and have something that the kids can realize, hey, they're invested in football and it's real important.
Is everyone healthy? Do you expect everyone here?
Yeah, you know, we've, you know, I think I said earlier in regards to our spring health, I thought it was a pretty healthy spring. We had a few guys that got dinged up, nothing that we saw going into the season. So I'd say the majority of those guys are pretty healthy right now, are going to be able to participate Monday with our strength and conditioning program when it fires back up. And we got a couple that are still working through some rehab, but they'll be able to do the majority of what we're going to do on Monday. So I don't really see anybody that's going to be out at the start of the season. Even Jay Sean's a guy that, you know, when we get to fall camp, I expect him to be out there, and we might monitor his reps, but I think he's going to be full board.
With the quarterback position, what in particular are you looking for as far as traits for, you know, whoever's going to separate themselves and take?
Well, I have always said, and this will be the case for me, and what I want is that I want them to be a passer first, you know, and that's a huge part of what we want to be able to do. But I also understand the value of as a defensive coach, their legs, you know, and when you have to account for them in terms of extending plays, getting in the pocket, and having escapability is a word I often will use. Those are big traits for me to have, because it allows you to put stress on the defense. And so, to me, you know, sometimes everybody wants to talk about dual threat guy, pro style. Well, Michael Penix is listed as a pro style quarterback, you know, on the rival side. You know, what does that really mean? Well, to me, you know, he's a guy that can run it and throw it, you know, and so he throws a lot more than he runs it in the past, and that's fine, okay, but the ability, you know, when you scheme defensively and you don't have to worry about that guy's legs, it takes away a component that I think really hinders you in terms of what you can do to stress the defense. And so, in my mind, that's what I'm looking for. Passer first, but a guy that's got the athleticism, you know. Aaron Rodgers is the guy that comes to mind. He's not considered a dual guy, okay, but he's a great athlete that threw the ball with great accuracy, but was athletic enough to extend plays and hard to sack, and that's what you want. Thank you.